Welcome back, everybody. Today we are diving into some Call of Duty Black Ops 6 news. You know, the kind that gets everyone talking?
Oh, yeah.
You've even sent in some gaming articles on this, so
Right.
seems like you're right there with everyone else. And trust me, I get it.
Yeah.
That grind for XP
Yeah.
can be real.
It's interesting how a simple game mechanic can really stir up a lot of passion, you know?
Totally. Remember that excitement when Black Ops 6 Season 1 dropped?
Yeah.
And suddenly all of our unused XP tokens
Right.
from past Call of Duty titles were back.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking mountains of double XP. I was like ready to just like blast through levels.
It was a great marketing move, right?
Yeah.
Bringing back that sense of reward for players who'd invested all that time in previous games.
Right.
And it really tapped into that core desire we all have to progress quickly and unlock things, you know, all those cool weapons and perks, like finding a stash of hidden treasure.
Right. Like bam. But then, just as quickly as they appeared, Treyarch took those tokens away,
Yeah.
citing stability risks. I'm not going to lie, I was like bummed.
Oh, yeah.
My excitement went from like 100 to 0. Talk about a roller coaster.
You and everyone else, the backlash was considerable.
Yeah.
You know, from a developer's perspective, though, imagine the chaos.
Okay.
Suddenly, injecting all this free XP into the game
Yeah.
could overload servers, who knows, create exploits, or even throw off the balance that they've worked so hard to create.
Right.
It's like adding a turbocharger to a finely tuned engine.
Okay.
There's a real risk of things blowing up.
Okay, so it's not just about keeping the servers from crashing, but we're talking about the whole game's ecosystem.
The whole thing, exactly. But to their credit, Treyarch, they listened, they pushed out a patch, and boom, the XP tokens are back.
Thank goodness. But there's a catch, right?
Well,
Because nothing's ever simple in the world of live service games.
right.
What did those articles that you read point out?
Yeah, so the articles are pointing out, you know, they highlight this one detail. It's that the XP tokens,
Okay.
they decay in real time,
Okay.
not just when you're actively playing. So
Right.
loading screens, crashes, even if you step away from the game for a few minutes, it eats away at that precious double XP.
Oh, come on.
And players are frustrated, and understandably so, because it feels like they're being penalized for things outside of their control.
So if I'm like stuck on a loading screen for 5 minutes, I just lost 5 minutes of double XP.
Yeah.
That seems a little unfair.
It raises questions
Yeah.
about how these XP boosts should be handled
Right.
in a fair and transparent way.
Right.
And it's not just Black Ops 6. Other games use what they call an active gameplay timer,
Okay.
where the clock only ticks down when you're actually in a match.
Right.
That seems like a much more player-friendly approach.
I think a lot of players would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like a way to kind of respect the time and effort players are putting in.
Absolutely, because time is a valuable resource,
Yeah.
especially in gaming.
Right.
And when a system feels like it disrespects your time,
Right.
it's going to create some friction
Right.
between the players and the developers.
Speaking of respecting players, Treyarch did address some other issues in this patch too, right?
They did.
What else did they tackle?
Yeah, remember that ghost perk issue
Oh, yeah?
that was making the game
Yeah.
a little too spooky?
Right.
It seems they finally exorcised that bug.
Oh, you mean the one where like the perk wasn't working consistently?
Yeah.
You'd think disappearing from the minimap would be pretty straightforward, but I guess not.
Yeah, it's often the things we take for granted as players, you know,
Yeah.
that turn out to be surprisingly complex on the development side. But hey, at least they got it sorted out.
Right, right. And you know those articles you sent?
Yeah.
They mentioned some other smaller but important changes,
Mm-hmm.
like tweaks to the hit marker UI.
Right.
I know that might sound minor to some,
Mm.
but for those of us who spend like hours trying to perfect our aim,
Yeah.
clear visual feedback is a lifesaver.
Oh, absolutely. It can be the difference between, you know, a satisfying kill
Yes.
and a frustrating did I hit him or not moment. Especially in those heated firefights,
Yeah.
when those split-second decisions matter, having that confirmation can really impact your performance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, big time.
And they even addressed that issue
Oh, yeah.
where some weapon sights were misaligned
Yes.
with a particular operator skin.
Uh-huh.
Again, a small detail,
Yeah.
but one that shows they're paying attention.
Right, it's those little things, right? It shows that they care about, like, the overall player experience.
Yeah,
Even down to those visual details.
absolutely.
Yeah,
But it wasn't just multiplayer mode that got some love.
right.
The zombies mode also saw some interesting updates.
Oh, yeah.
They tackled those pesky gobblegums
Yeah.
that were sticking around indefinitely.
Infinite gobblegums, yeah. Bit of an oversight. While not game-breaking,
Yeah.
It definitely threw off the balance, especially for players who,
Yeah.
prefer a more strategic approach to surviving
Right.
those zombie hordes.
For sure. And let's not forget those quality of life improvements that just make everything smoother, like adding more info to the zombies map selection screen.
It's all about streamlining the experience, right?
Yeah.
Giving players the information they need,
Yeah.
so they can jump right into the action.
Exactly. And on that note, the articles also mentioned a bizarre bug
Oh.
that Treyarch had to address. Players were accidentally applying camos
What?
from Modern Warfare 2 and 3 to their Black Ops 6 weapons. Imagine the confusion.
That's wild. It's like a blast from the past.
Oh.
You'd think those old camos would just stay in their respective games. But sometimes those lines get blurred in the digital world.
Right. It's a good reminder that even in a world of cutting-edge tech, things can get messy.
They do.
And when you're dealing with, a constantly evolving platform
Yeah,
with a live service game, unexpected issues are bound to pop up.
absolutely. But what's important is how developers respond to those issues. And in this case, it seems like Treyarch is being proactive.
Right.
Squashing bugs, tweaking mechanics, and just generally trying to make the game as enjoyable as possible.
Okay, so back to the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Those real-time decaying XP tokens.
Right.
It's been a major point of contention for players.
Sure.
It's great they brought them back, but will Treyarch address this countdown issue?
Right.
Will they switch to, like, an active gameplay timer like some other games?
Yeah.
That's the big question, isn't it? It really speaks to this ongoing evolution of game design,
It does.
and that balance between player expectations
Yeah.
and developer priorities.
Absolutely.
Well, let's consider this. Treyarch did listen to the players
Right.
when they initially removed the tokens. They brought them back.
They did.
It's a good sign that they're receptive to feedback,
It is.
at least,
Yeah.
right? So,
They've shown a willingness to address issues,
yeah.
both big and small, across all the different modes, so there is reason to be optimistic.
Okay, so fingers crossed. Because, let's be honest, grinding for XP can be a grind.
It can be.
Who wants to waste that precious double XP time
Yeah,
on loading screens
I know.
or game crashes?
Nobody. It's about respecting players' time and effort,
Right.
And when a system feels fair and transparent, it just creates a more positive experience for everybody.
You said it. Now, before we get too carried away with speculation,
Right.
let's touch on another aspect of this whole XP token saga.
Okay.
The impact it's had on the Black Ops 6 community. I mean, it's been wild, right?
Yeah.
Forums are buzzing, streamers are debating it.
Right.
Everyone's got an opinion on this whole Treyarch thing.
It's a case study,
Yeah.
almost, in community engagement.
Right.
In today's gaming landscape, live service games
Yeah.
dominate.
Right.
Player feedback is constant. Developers are under a microscope.
Yeah.
The way they handle these situations can make or break the reputation.
For sure. And, it's not even just about the XP tokens themselves.
Right.
This whole thing has sparked a bigger conversation
Yes.
about player value.
Mhm.
And how developers can best balance their own goals
Right.
with what the players expect?
For sure. It's a tightrope walk.
It really is.
It is.
Yeah.
It boils down to respect, right?
Yeah.
Players want to feel like their time and their investment is valued.
Right.
When a game mechanic, like this real-time XP decay,
Yeah.
feels unfair, it erodes that trust.
Right.
And it creates this kind of rift
Yeah.
between the community and the developers.
And let's be real, there's tons of games out there,
Oh, yeah.
all vying for our attention.
Right.
If one game isn't respecting my time,
Yeah.
I'm moving on.
You can easily jump ship.
Yeah.
To something else. Exactly. It's a competitive market. And, players have more choices than ever before.
Right.
So fostering a positive relationship with their community is crucial for developers.
Yep.
It's about open communication, transparency, and just a willingness to adapt,
Right.
and evolve based on that feedback.
Right. I think in this case, Treyarch has shown they're willing to listen at least.
Yeah.
Bringing back the XP tokens was a big step.
Yeah, it was a sign that they acknowledged those concerns.
Right.
And they were willing to kind of, make amends.
Right.
Yeah. Now, whether they'll go that extra mile
Yeah.
and implement that active gameplay timer
Right.
for XP tokens remains to be seen.
Fingers crossed. But even if they don't, this whole situation has shown something really important. Players' voices can make a difference.
They do.
By speaking up, engaging in constructive dialogue, holding developers accountable, we can shape the games we love.
for the better.
For the better.
Absolutely. It's a collaborative process. Developers create the games.
Right.
But it's the players that bring them to life.
Yeah.
And when that relationship is healthy and respectful,
Yeah.
everybody wins.
Well said. So, for all you Black Ops 6 players out there, keep those controllers warm, those strategies sharp.
Right.
And those voices heard.
Yes. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Treyarch will surprise us with another update soon.
It's a constantly evolving landscape, that's for sure.
That's the beauty of it, right? There's always something new to discover, something to debate, something to get excited about.
Right.
And that, my friends, is why we love video games.
Well said.
And with that, another deep dive comes to a close. Big thank you to you
Of course.
for sending in those articles and sparking this conversation.
Yeah.
Until next time,
See you later.
happy gaming.